Hello my dears and lovelies, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. I'm so glad you clicked on my channel. It means the world that you're giving me a shot here. And I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome or welcome back. Today we are going to be choosing and reading my next reads from my TBR jar. So this is my regular TBR jar and it's just the books I have on my physical TBR shelf. And we're just going to be picking my next reads. I'm not going to lie, I did cheat a little bit on this one and I already picked my first one before I started filming this video. So the first one is going to be The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This one has been on my TBR for forever. I need to read this before the next Hunger Games novel comes out because I can't be behind in this, guys. This is unacceptable. So I've watched the movie. I need to read the book. So excuse me, sorry. So we're gonna read this first. This is our first one. And let's pick our next two for the week. I will give the caveat that if I pick one that's the first one in a series, I'm automatically gonna read the next one and those are gonna be my next two. Like, I'm not gonna start a series and read another book. That's just not how I do things. Not what I was expecting at all, but I think it'll be good. I picked the Princess Diaries series. I don't know if that was too close, sorry. I hope it'll focus. Yeah, that's it. Alright. This doesn't necessarily go with the book I have previously, but we're gonna go with it. Because the TBR jar never lies. So let's get into it. Hello, welcome back. I am here to update you on my progress on The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just finished part 2, just got to part 3, Peacekeeper, and impressions so far. I am very impressed with Suzanne Collins' ability to simultaneously make you both hate and love a character at the same time. I don't understand how she does it, but the characters are so absolutely human that it makes the story so compelling. Like, they're so flawed, but you can't help but root for them at the same time. I don't know how she does it, but it's so impressive. The way she doesn't write your typical hero story in this novel. It's actually, obviously, as we know, a villain origin story. But yet the whole time you're still slightly rooting for Coriolanus to get what he wants, and you're still rooting for him and Lucy to maybe get together, even though you know it's not healthy and you know he's not good for her, and you know all these things, and you question your morals a little bit because there's this character who's been through so much, both characters have, and we want them to be happy, but sadly you know what happiness means at the end of the book, for one of them at least. And I'm just, her storytelling is so compelling, and I'm so very impressed with it. Even though I have already seen the movie, I do know how it ends. So nothing is really surprising about the book. I kind of wish I had read the book before I watched the movie. That way I would be, shocked by all the things. But it's still, even knowing the story, it's still such an enjoyable read, honestly. The pages are turning, and they're turning fast. I'm enjoying every minute of it. And I look forward to finishing it. Alright, let's keep going. Good evening. It is Thursday night, almost 8 o'clock I believe, and I have just finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Like literally just finished, so I'm still organizing my thoughts about it. I did thoroughly enjoy this. It was very much a page turner, keeps you engaged, keeps you wanting to read. Very depressing, as all the Hunger Games novels tend to be. But I will say I did thoroughly enjoy, honestly, the development of Snow's character. From this boy this teenager who's been injured by the war and wants nothing more than to provide for his family, and you watch him as the events unfold slowly just start this decline towards the villain that we see in the Hunger Games. And it's just, okay, maybe enjoyed is the wrong word, but it is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating to read a book like this and know what the ending is, but still be absolutely gripped by the pages, and gripped by the story and wanting to know what happens, even though you know what happens. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, you know the ending, but you don't know what happens to get him to that ending. What could make a person so evil that they'd continue something and enforce something like the Hunger Games? And Snow's story is just so fascinating to read, and Lucy Gray's impact on him, and whether that be the good impact or the bad impact on him, even though it's honestly very interesting and a good study on the impacts we have on each other as humans, I think, because you never know what your choices, how they're going to impact somebody, you know? And I think that, because Lucy Gray's not a bad character, she's honestly one of my favorite characters in the whole Hunger Games series. I love her. But she makes these choices to fend for herself, understandably so. And those choices finally push Snow over that edge from maybe a little bit of an anti-hero to a full-fledged villain. She finally is the one who pushes him. His need for survival pushes him to that edge. And once she becomes a risk to that survival, he's done. She was the only thing, I think, holding that sanity in place. And when she became a threat, that sanity was gone. He was full-fledged, I'm out for me and me only now. And I just think that's an absolutely fascinating way to tell a story. So overall, I feel like that was a very long-winded review, so I do apologize for that. But this is a very sobering read. So I think it'll take a while for me to get my thoughts fully together, but those are my thoughts as they stand, having just finished it like 5 minutes ago. I think definitely like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like, this was a near perfect read. Like, as depressing as it was, which I think is the only reason I'm not giving it a 5-star, and that's just personal preference. That's not to say anything was wrong with the book. That's literally just personal preference that I'm not giving it a full 5-star. Because it really was fascinating and kept me engaged, and I have no qualms with the book whatsoever. Near perfect read for sure. But we have finished this. Now for the rest of this reading vlog over the course of the weekend, I'm gonna read something a little bit more lighthearted. So tomorrow morning we will jump into the Princess Diaries to kind of give my head space a little cleanse after reading this. So I'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty, welcome back. I have just finished the first volume in the Princess Diaries series. This was such a cute book. If you don't know, which I don't know why you would because I haven't told anybody on this channel yet, but the Princess Diaries are like my all-time favorite comfort movies to watch. I will watch them over and over and over again. I have a bad day, I have a good day. They have such a special place in my heart. I love Julie Andrews. I love Anne Hathaway. I used to watch them all the time when I was little, and I love them even more as an adult now, I think. So I knew I was going to love this book going into it. Now there are some things that they switched around to make the movies more cohesive, I think. Because let me see if I can find a good example. But like, here you go. You can see here, like, the novel is written as a diary, as the name implies. So each day is literally just, or each chapter is a diary entry of that day, whatever day it is. So I can see why it would be hard to translate that to a movie narrative. So there's a lot of things they had to cut. They had to shorten, they had to cut some characters out, they had to change some things around, like just to make it more cohesive, to make it make more sense. Not that this doesn't make sense, that you can very easily follow this. I just think in a movie setting it would have been a lot harder if they took everything page for page, translated it to a movie. I appreciate the creative differences that they took with the movie. The creative license, I guess is the word. I appreciate what they did because I think the movies as a separate entity are their own beautiful work of art, and the books themselves as their own separate entity are a beautiful work of art. Now, are these the best amazing books I've ever read? No, of course not. But they are accomplishing what I needed them to accomplish in this moment. Because I just read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, my brain was dystopian and dreary and needed a mood boost bad. So reading these is solving that problem for me. It makes me so happy, and it makes me so giddy, and it's so cheesy, and it's absolutely ridiculous, but I love it. Like, what girl doesn't want to read about a high school girl figuring out she's a princess of some small country? Like, that's just every girl's fantasy, right? So it's really fun to read about, even if it is absolutely the cheesiest thing I've ever read in my life. I am eating it up. I love it. And so I'm gonna read the next two. I only have the first three, and honestly I think there's like, it says it in the front, how many books are in this? Like, I think there's like 8? There's 8 books in this series. At least, that's what it says in this one. There's 8 books. I don't know if I'm going to read all of those. That seems a bit excessive, and I don't know how much more story you can get from the Princess Diaries. Maybe you can. Maybe they're amazing, and maybe I will be addicted by the time I finish the third one. I don't know. Right now, my plan isn't necessarily to go out and buy all 8 of them. I don't think I will do that, but I am prepared to thoroughly enjoy these first 3, and we'll see what happens from there. So come along with me, and let's read the sequels. Welcome back. I just finished reading the final book in the Princess Diaries series, the final book that I own in the Princess Diaries series. It's called Princess in Love. I also finished the second one, Princess in the Spotlight, and obviously the first one, the Princess Diaries. So I finished all 3. Yeah, I'm not gonna review each individual one, I don't think. Because they all kind of build off of each other, and they all kind of run together if you read them consecutively within 3 days like I did. So I'm just going to review the series as a whole. I think it was very cute. I think it was very wholesome, very sweet, very, very different from the movies, I will say. I just finished the 3rd book, and Mia hasn't even finished her freshman year of high school. Whereas the 2nd movie, she's already graduated college and is moving to Genovia to take over for the crown. If you have seen the movies, that's what happens. So it's pretty odd getting this far in the series and nothing even remotely close to what happened in the sequel is happening now. So it's a little bit different, but not in a bad way. It's still very cute, very fun. It's just the problems are a lot more trivial and high school-y. Which, this is obviously a young adult series, so what else can you expect? But they're very cute, very fun. They did what I needed them to do, which was refresh my brain after reading a dystopian novel. It's what I needed, and I think they came in handy for that. So overall, very cute, very wholesome, very high school-y, I will say. So kind of pros and cons if you're thinking about getting into this. How much high school drama can you handle is what I would ask before recommending this. But overall, I give the whole series, at least what I've read so far, a good 3 stars. That is not a bad review, by the way. These were enjoyable. I enjoyed them. They're just not going to be my favorite of all time by any means. But I thoroughly enjoyed them for what they were. And with that, I will sign off. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I had so much fun filming this one for you guys. And I hope that you will join me on the next one. Hope you'll like, subscribe, and keep on coming back for new videos every week. Every Sunday is what I'm aiming for. And so far, we've been pretty good about doing that lately. So fingers crossed. For today's question, are you like me and do you need a refresher after reading a dark novel like a dystopian or a horror or something along those lines? Do you need something light, fluffy, comedic, whatever it is? Do you need something lighter after reading something darker, or can you just power through dark novels? I'm really curious if I'm the only one that's like this. So let me know in the comments. And with that, I will say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.